host and master of ceremonies, Nathan Cassar.
Welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Justice Planned Wedding Podcast Show, where we explore the secrets to creating the most unforgettable weddings of all time. I'm your host, Nathan Cassar, and today I am very, very excited to welcome our guest who's making waves in the event hire industry, especially in the stunning Blue Mountains, one of my favorite places to perform, Mallin, the managing director of Bluey's Event Hire. Now, Bluey's Event Hire has quickly become the go-to provider for weddings and events in the Blue Mountains region, offering everything from marquees and furniture to decor and lighting. With over 30 years of industry experience, they're known for creating seamless, stress-free celebrations that turn visions into reality. Since Michael acquired the business in 2023, he expanded inventory, improved service efficiency, and fostered incredible partnerships with top vendors and venues, making Bluey's a trusted name in the wedding game. But Michael and his team don't stop there. Bluey's is all about giving back to the community and supporting sustainability with their eco-friendly practices and reusable rentals. In 2024, Bluey's was recognized as the Outstanding Wedding Services winner in the Local Business Awards, and they're continuing to grow, even expanding into more bespoke styling services. Today, Michael is joining us to talk about how expert event hire can simplify wedding planning, reduce stress, and elevate, the experience for couples. We'll dive into the importance of sustainability in the event industry and how Bluey's is helping to create stunning pop-up venues in the breathtaking Blue Mountains landscape. Finally, we'll also hear about the growth of the event hire business and how Bluey's is making a meaningful impact in their local community through charity work and inclusive employment practices. All right, Michael, welcome to the show. An incredible resume that you have on your schedule.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan.
Absolutely. Now, I was going to ask you, because the first time we worked together, it was at the Hydro Majestic, and I believe your team was providing a couple of the tidbits in the room that the couple were very proud of. And I loved your work, but more importantly, I was always curious that the first time I ever saw your name come up on my the profile that the couple sent through, and I would always wondered, is your company associated with the extraordinarily popular TV show Bluey?
No.
Damn.
I'd like to claim that, but no. We had the name first.
Well, I mean, 30 years ago, that would make sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, the business was originally Bluey's Party Hire, and it changed names. But when I took over in June 23, all the locals knew it as Bluey's, so it made sense to bring it back and revamp it and rebrand it, and so.
Oh, fantastic!
I was first.
No, of course. Well, you know what? I think you should tell somebody. Tell Bluey. Sorry, mate, you're gonna have to pay some royalties. I'm curious because you what were you doing before you took over the business, and what was the inspiration behind taking it over in 2023?
Yeah, sure. So I've worked in events for a long time. So I started sort of my hospitality career, I guess, working at Fairmont Resort, and worked my way through that to working in the conference department and helping companies run their events there, and loved it. And then I left there, and really quick backstory, I guess. Went and worked in a tour company running tours, and then ended up running a convention center, which ran events for 2,000 people. And then when I saw the opportunity to purchase the business, I was like, oh, this is for me. So, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. It sounds like you've had such a storied past and background, and you were perfectly positioned to take over a business that clearly was, just in need of a little bit of a cleanup in order to be able to streamline its processes and become the go-to as you are now in the Blue Mountains region. By the way, I've been to the Fairmont and I've met some of your successors, and it is a great place, by the way. So I know that you were definitely coming from a great sort of, origin, so to speak, at that venue. So look, Bluey's Event Hire is so much more than just, we need someone to bring chairs, so can you hire somebody around, right? It's you've built a business that is meant to go much deeper than that. And sure, if someone wants chairs, and great, you can provide them. But your ethos is essentially, if we can do more, if we can provide more, if we can make more of an impact, we will do so compared to other event hire companies around the joint. And so how does Bluey's Event Hire specifically help couples to create a stress-free wedding experience? And what do you think is the biggest benefit of working with an experienced event hire company, I guess, compared to, like, I don't know, dashing down to Bunnings and trying to pick out chairs and festoon lightings and things like that?
Yeah, good question. And I think for us, it's about trying to make it as easy as possible. So just simple things like thinking about what will be needed. So rather than waiting to the day and going, oh, actually, we didn't think about we needed an extra signing table or an extra table for the presidents or whatever it might be. Like, we're trying to always think about, well, what might you need, and then if we don't have, like, sometimes people have specific things that we don't necessarily have in our standard inventory, so to speak. We'll look at, well, can we get that in for them? So we might go to someone else at another event hire company, could even be in Sydney, could be anywhere, to go, can we get this specific thing to help the couple, so they don't have to worry about it. They just got to say, this is what I need, and then we'll do the running around and try and find it, and then go from there. So just taking that stress away and making it really simple, rather than having to go to Bunnings. They've only got 10 chairs, I need 20. Okay, I got to go to the other store and got to go get 20 more, and then what do you do with it afterwards? Okay, well, who wants to take a chair with them, sort of thing. So
be the very strange bombinary, that's for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
So and then we do offer the setup as well. So, like, if it's for a ceremony, we can just set it up, so you just turn up, and then it's done. Or we can just do the dry hire as well, where we just drop it off and then you have your family do it. We're really flexible in how we operate. We don't sort of.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Don't put too many rules around it. So it's
No, it's great that there's a level of adaptability, but also the power of your network. And I think that's the one thing that is really strong in that sense of what you're able to provide versus someone trying to do it themselves, or doing a patchwork where they go to a company that just offers lighting and then some company that just has a dance floor and so forth. Yeah. It's very clear that your team is very much a catch-all. And and as you said, if you don't specifically have it, then you have the ability, scale, and opportunity and the time to be able to go and source it from independent suppliers who can help to put that all together, and of course deliver it, take it away, return it back to the suppliers. I've got to ask you a question, because I've done a few weddings up. Actually, I mean, I'm based in Parramatta, and I've done, I'm sort of all over the place. But particularly, I find that I've not done as much Blue Mountains and Hawkesbury weddings as I would like to say that I've done. Hopefully, it changes this year. But why I bring that up is because I've been only to a few venues so far that are relatively self-contained. They provide everything just like a typical venue in Sydney is. But I got to ask about the region you're in specifically, because it relates a lot to, I know how it is in the Hunter Valley, for instance, these dry hire venues that you bring everything in. And it's a big choice when couples are deciding from a venue, from everything provided versus flexibility and choice to do what we want, but we need to bring stuff in. Is there a big market? Is that the market up there predominantly? And sort of how do you guide couples through that dry hire process to make sure that they haven't really forgotten anything?
Yeah, good questions. There's definitely a mix. So there's obviously the Fairmonts and the Hydros and places like that are the more your traditional hotel style of venue, where it's got a room and it's got everything in it. They have the tables, they have the chairs. There's definitely that. But there's a lot of venues which are outside. So there's a couple that we go to regularly to put Marquees up, for instance, or there's people that just have stuff in their backyards. So, like, there's people that might just have their family have a property in Hartley, and they go, let's just get married there. So we can do that as well. So yeah, it's really, really varied. There's wineries in the Megalong Valley, for instance, that have they have the marquee there already, but then we need to go in and put the styling into it, or extra chairs or lighting or whatever it might be. So they're all a little bit different. But as far as guiding couples through that, it's really about trying to understand what their dream is. So I always say, when I'm first talking to a couple, what's the dream wedding? So, and it's one of my questions I always ask, especially at wedding expos and things, is, well, what's your dream? Because most couples, I don't want to be stereotypical, but most brides have a dream.
Yes, true.
Don't want to be stereotypical, but mostly it's the brides, and they've always got this dream about what they want. And if we can understand what that is, then we can direct them to the right spot. So sometimes people might come to us and say, well, we want to have a wedding in the Blue Mountains. My first question is, are you looking for a view or for gardens, or for tell me a bit about that, because that's going to direct me which venue I'm going to suggest that you go to. So if you're looking for a review, I've got venues which I would suggest. If you're looking for gardens, I've got venues that I'd suggest. So it really just comes down to understanding the client and the couple and what their dream is, so that you can help bring that to life.
Absolutely. And it's definitely like speaks to that experience as well. You haven't been around for a long time, different positions, different places, different circumstances and markets. So definitely it's something that, there's a reliance of trust that they can get from someone like yourself as well. Now, something that I haven't really talked about a lot on any of the seasons so far, not for any other reason except just it's I wouldn't say a niche topic, but it's certainly just something that often we recognize in the industry as vendors we need to be aware of, but yet there's not as much of an emphasis on this as much as I believe there should be. So I'm really, really glad to bring this up today. But sustainability is massive, and it exists much as a bigger topic, I would say, in the corporate space, although it's beginning to permeate to the wedding space too, which I'm all for and I'm absolutely loving. Now, you pride yourself on as being sort of one of those leaders in the industry of ensuring that eco-friendly practice is always maintained. How can, what can couples expect in terms of, those eco-friendly practices being integrated into working with a team like yours? And just generally, like, what are some ideas of couples who are conscious about the environment, how they can make sure that their wedding doesn't necessarily leave a negative imprint on the environment after the day is done?
Yeah, and I think it comes back to trying to be reusable where you can, and being aware of what that impact is going to be. So things like, going and buying your own glassware or your own styling elements for the table. Well, yes, you can do that, but then what happens to it afterwards? So whereas if you hire that in, we'll come set it up, take it away, clean it, and then you don't have to worry about it. So that type of thing is really, really important. And then just making sure that things like confettis and stuff like that are eco-friendly confettis, and so there's lots of little things you can do along the way, but it's just trying to minimize that impact that you can have on the environment as you go. And then things from, if it's a DIY, well, what's your waste management plan? So we can provide bins for you so that it's easy for you to dispose of waste and recycling and all that sort of thing. So
yeah, these are definitely important questions, particularly for venues where either it's in a backyard or if it's at a dry hire location where, particularly actually even more so because there's a venue who has rules, and then you'll get fined if you don't follow certain guidelines and, leave it as you found it kind of perspective. But at the same time, I mean, look, it's no secret that Gen Z in particular, but millennials as well, and I guess Gen Alpha at some point, definitely becoming a lot more environmentally conscious. So it's a great point you mentioned about, yes, you can go and buy this stuff, but at the end of the day, it being able to be reused by a company like yourself who can handle all of that long term just already ticks those massive boxes that I think people don't immediately think, because they think it's going to be a huge cost, but actually down the line, yes, there's the cost of the environment, there's the cost of themselves, and it's kind of like, okay, we got it, now where do we put it? You mentioned earlier before about your experience in telling guests, couples, about where to go in terms of views versus gardens versus other types of venues in the Blue Mountains. Now, obviously, there's many different venues like that all across Sydney. But here's the question I have. You guys, because I know that you set up Marquees in full spaces where people can also, particularly for these dry hire places or backyards. But yet, I think perhaps maybe couples are thinking, well, hang on, there's this beautiful landscape, and then all of a sudden there's this white marquee sitting in the middle of nowhere that can impede that view and sort of take away from that natural sort of beauty of it all. How do you set up your spaces and keep that sort of natural beauty in mind in order to create these beautiful, pop-up venues that didn't exist but yet still blend well into the landscape?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's always tricky to juggle that, not blocking the view, but and then having the marquee in the right spot. So it's about positioning and looking at where can we position the marquee, and then we also have clear marquees as well. So we've got marquees that have clear walls and clear roofs, and we just manage that with the client and to what they're really expecting. So One of the things we find with the clear roofs is if it's a really hot day,
Yeah, I was going to say.
kind of suggest not to do it because you can attach to a greenhouse and then you're going
The
to cook
first
your
thing that
guests.
I thought too, I was like, oh no, I couldn't imagine.
So, but we're pretty flexible with that as well. That we sort of say, well, we can book it as a clear, but then we'll look at the weather and we'll make some suggestions closer to the time. If it looks looking like it's going to be hot, then we might say let's put the white roof on, and then you won't cook your guests. Or sometimes we might do a combination where we put a couple of clears panels and a couple of white panels so that you still get a little bit of that natural lights and stars at night, but you're just not going to cook the guests. So we just manage that. But it's really about locating the marquee where we can and every venue is a little bit different, but so that you can still get access to the view and have photos and things as well. So.
Yeah, it's great that you're candid about that because at the end of the day, I mean, I've done a couple of marquee weddings myself. And the one thing that has happened is that I think there was probably not those candid conversations beforehand about what would be most appropriate in terms of the setup. And I think also a sense of expectation. I remember that there was a situation where, oh, no, the person has told me, like our vendor who we trust has told me, all the walls must be closed at all times. And that's to stop people coming in, that's to stop this, stop that. And the moment that myself and the DJ walked in, like we felt that it was already a hot day, but we felt like it was completely unsafe to be inside. And so we sort of had to step in after the fact, and everything was fine at the end of the day, and it was the right call to make, and the couple appreciated our candidness. But it sort of felt like we were set up to fail a bit by that vendor because they sort of sold something and didn't account for it, whereas you're saying that hey, we can give you that conversation. And I guess it's just a really sort of a flag for couples to have that conversation and be prepared to not specifically, if the weather dictates something else, to not have that glass house type, setting if they just can't do it.
Yeah, and people don't know. So, I guess for me, it's about letting the couple actually make that decision as well. So, we can do the clear roof if you want, but our recommendation is not to, because it's going to be very hot, and you'll have some other issues as well. So, but it's about, at the end of the day, if the couple wants that, well, we'll deliver it. But we just strongly recommend that it's probably not the best option for this weekend because it's going to be 30 degrees sort of thing. So
yeah, speaking as somebody who has to also be under that marquee, please don't. But anyway, that's just a personal petition on my behalf. Look, we've talked about, and we touched on at the very beginning about how you've got a great lens in terms of keeping things pretty and beautiful, not just so much from the location and the views and all that other stuff that is maintained, but also the fact that you've recently acquired a bespoke styling service and you've assumed into your business, and now it's become a greater level of service you can provide to your couples in the region as well. Can you sort of share how this shift has impacted your clients and also the kinds of personalized experiences that they can now come to expect, and also for new clients as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so just in February, we acquired a small boutique styling business called Penny Lane Studio, which happened to actually be located just around the corner from where we were, so it's very convenient. And they have a lot of different inventory than what we've got, but also they offer a styling service, which we were kind of doing a little bit of, but this opens it up for us to actually really do that really well. So now couples can come to us and get everything from whether they need just a few chairs for a ceremony or right up to the whole thing of doing the styling and everything. So we're pretty excited about that. And offer that real one-stop shop really of everything you need, and just really helping bring that together. And what we've actually found is that there were couples which were talking to us for some things and then talking to Penny Lane for other things. And then after we took over, it was like, oh, they're the same. Okay, well, we're just talking to the same person now. So it really is it matches really, really well for us. So,
and how much do you leverage the sort of the couples? I think we kind of touched about this, but now that you've got this, beautiful blend of the two types of services, how much do you leverage the couple's visions versus, what a typical planner or stylist would sort of insert themselves into this process?
Yeah, I think it always comes back to, I think for me, understanding what the couple wants. If the couple has, and we can still make suggestions around that to say, well, look, I hear what you're saying, and yep, that's fine. We can do that if you want, but we could tweak it this way, and it's going to be better for these reasons as based on our experience. So it's really about trying to understand, and it always comes back to that understanding really what the dream is. If we can understand that, then it makes it a lot easier for us to deliver it. So rather than having these expectations that you're going to deliver something that isn't, we don't know it, we're not going to deliver the right thing. So it's really, really critical. And it's something I talk with the team a lot about is let's understand the dream, let's understand the vision and what they're really after, and makes our job so much simpler.
From your best memory, what's the weirdest, wildest thing you've ever been asked to replicate?
Just a little while ago, we got asked to put a marquee over a tree for a Lord of the Rings theme.
Oh, like a tree that was like fell or something like that? Or
no, it was like just a small tree and they wanted the marquee to sit over the
oh,
top.
I get it. I understand. Okay, yep.
So, but okay, how do we do this?
How big of a tree are we talking here?
It wasn't too big. It was about 2 meters tall, I think. And they didn't actually go ahead with it, but it was a weird thing to be asked. And how do we do it? But we did come up with some solutions to the dilemma. Which was cool. But yeah, it's that was a pretty weird one.
Certainly an interesting centerpiece for certain. I mean, I get it for the sake of the theme, but yeah, it's. But I think it's fascinating that even like because some companies out there would be like, oh, forget it, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think it's fantastic that you were at least able to entertain it and come up with solutions as well.
Yeah.
And I think it does speak wholly to your sense of experience and what you've seen, what can be done, can't be done. But
it really comes back to our ethos as well. We don't like to say no. So really, and I sort of talk with the team about this all the time. It's like we never say no. It's always we'll check or we'll see what we can do. And then if we really, if it's something we really can't do, then obviously we won't. And if it's not safe, all that sort of stuff. But we're always going to try and investigate. Well, what are the options? And we'll debate it around the warehouse, going, how do we do this? And so.
No, it's great, and it's really great that level of consistency is from start to finish and every touch point of the business too, which is what couples should really aspire to be dealing with, whether or not be a sole trader like myself or yourself or a company like yours that has a number of staff. At the end of the day, every touch point, every piece of communication should be consistent and meet a standard that you were happy with when you first signed up and first inquired, all the way to obviously after the wedding's taken place. And so, no, it's great that is something that's always kept in your lens as well. I've got one more question before I'm going to throw a couple of rapid fires at you, as we always do at the end of the show. You are, as Bluey's event hire, you've brought in a real sense of understanding that you don't just exist in a bubble, in a vacuum, you exist within a community. And therefore, not only the businesses around you, but also the people around you who've helped you grow the way you have, and also, of course, allow you to do all the things you do and everything else in between. How has community involvement been a core part of your business structure and core values? And also, what kind of support directly have you done for local vendors and charities?
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely critical to what we do. We want to be a part of the community, so we're always looking for opportunities where we can support different things. So whether it be giving the local school something for their last year, we gave the local school a marquee for their end of year markets, so that they could have the band and everything under a marquee, and whether it be supporting. We provided a marquee for the motor neuron stair climb in August last year, so that they were raising money for that. So it's just trying to find ways where we can support like that. But then we also supported a water project in Uganda as well. So it's not just locally. So we actually supported a water project through an organisation called Pro Purpose. So we're proud to be a pro purpose business where we're actually part of our revenue goes every month to this water project in Uganda. And we've so far it hasn't been going that long. It's probably only been going since last year. But I think it's about. I should check this before I came on this show, but it's about 5 water wells that we've repaired, and we've provided clean water to, I think it's 3,000 people. So, so we're really proud about that, that we can actually be using our business to support people that on the other side of the world don't have it as great as what we have in Australia, because we do live in the lucky country. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it's great that your lens obviously extends just beyond the local community, although they definitely deserve your greatest attention. But that's amazing, and hopefully inspired some other vendors that are listening that it's I mean, I personally myself, I've been involved in a number of other charity initiatives. I often will give my MC services time away to different charities that I love, including Cancer Council. And I think overall I understand exactly why you do it. It's the fact that, we if there is a need out there to be able to support something that is greater than ourselves and has a greater impact than just simply making money and building our prestige, then it should be done. As business owners, we should be able to give back and recognize the privileged position we're in to be able to give back in the first place, let alone, the act of giving. So no, that's really, really genuinely great to hear. Michael, I would love to ask you a couple of questions and in our rapid fire segment, and then I'll give people an opportunity to hear exactly how they can book your Marquees, and maybe you can extend it to Bluey appearances. We'll see how we go for copyright reasons. But first off, what is one question the couple should ask you? Like the very first thing or the most important thing the couple should ask you when they're engaging with you?
Their date.
Yeah, it's not a bad point. Yeah, I do get a lot of inquiries that go, maybe. It's like, that's awesome, but may not be able to do it. So, okay, yep, no, I love that. Straight to the point. What is the weirdest or largest or just most unusual item you have in your inventory?
Well, we have a mandap now because we built it.
Oh, yes. Very cool. Nice. I like that. Do you often do a lot of Indian weddings?
We've done one. They needed a mandap, so we built it.
I love that. See a need, fill a need. That's fantastic. That is fed. That is really.
But we can do Indian weddings now, by the way.
Well, there you go. You've heard it here first, everybody. Oh, that's stellar. The fact that you made it too. That's just I love that so much. That's, again, I guess as you said, it's that ethos of say yes or we'll come back to it or we'll figure it out, as opposed to just, oh well, no, we're not a mandap company, so go somewhere else. And finally, I would like to ask you about. You've told me about all these different things that you've done, and you've had such a storied past. But the question really is, why do you do what you do each day?
I just love events, like whether it's a wedding or a corporate event or a community event. I just love it. I love it, like the adrenaline of events and figuring out how we're going to make this work. It just really just does something. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me go, yeah, it's fun. So perfect answer. Love the passion, love the sincerity, and you clearly do it well, because you are very, very well respected, particularly in your region, but of course across Sydney as well. So you're a credit to yourself and to your team members. How can people find you online, engage you, get your Marquees, perhaps even book your mandap? Who knows? How can they do all of that? Yeah, the best way is through the website. So www.blueyseventire.com.au. And then, just follow there's lots of things there you can click on to send forms through, or give us a call in the office, 47808, I think it is. Forgotten the number. Or through our socials. So Facebook, Instagram. So
Perfect.
Whatever way you can contact with us, we'll help you out, and we'll start a conversation. So that's what I always say to people: let's just start a conversation, because then we can figure out what you need, and whether it be that you just need something small, or maybe you don't need anything, and we can just point you in the right direction for your wedding. Like, it's not a problem as well. Like, so if it's like, well, like, this is what the dream is, well, that's fine. We don't really have anything for that, but if you go to this person, this is who you need to talk to. So, or if you're looking for a caterer or a wedding planner, or like, we know everybody in the local area, so we can sort of direct you to say, well, this is the person to speak to for what you're looking for. So
excellent. Well, you are a true one-stop shop, and just don't type in Bluey hire, because you'll likely get child entertainers coming to your party instead. So folks, I hope you have been inspired by Michael's story, but more importantly, the fact that an event hire company can certainly be more than just hiring a couple of chairs and lights, and away you go. So thank you so much, Michael, for the passion and experience you bring to the industry. And just I look forward to working with you more in the future, particularly in your home area of the Blue Mountains. It's such a beautiful place in the world. So thanks for your time, and look forward to catching up again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Just As Planned Wedding Podcast. Please like and subscribe to let me know that you want more videos just like this one. And of course, please follow us on our socials at Just As Planned Wedding on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more expert insights to help your wedding go just as planned.